and updates on Iran war. And we are analyzing the social media footages and reports which can be unverified at times purely from educational and documentary point of view, strongly following the YouTube community guidelines. Now, starting with the news that these are the strikes in Tehran by US and Israeli Air Force. These are the visuals which we are showing you. The strikes of US and Israel striking Iran. These are the latest visuals when Iran was struck by Israel. Now, discussing some news from today, and before that, we are creating a poll for you guys to do take part in the poll. And the question for the poll is that the question which we are putting in the poll, please do take part in the poll. And the question for you people, please do vote in the poll. And the question is that will Strait of Hormuz be opened by Iran by 6th of April? Because 6th of April is the deadline which President Trump has given, that if that Strait of Hormuz is opened by the 6th of April, isn't opened by 6th of April, then the US will be bombing the Kharg Island, the oil facilities and the gas facilities and the power plants of Iran. So our question of today is, will Strait of Hormuz be opened by Iran by 6th of April? And this poll has been created. Please do take part in this poll and tell us what are your opinions regarding the opening or closure of the Strait of Hormuz. The US has already threatened Iran that if Iran doesn't open the Strait of Hormuz by 6th of April, then US will be bombing the Kharg Island where the Iran's major oil storage facility is, and also US will be bombing most of the power plants and oil and gas plants in Iran. So this was the threat which US gave to Iran, and the US already had US earlier has also threatened regarding the opening of the Strait of Hormuz, of the Strait of Hormuz, to which Iran replied that they are not intimidated by the US threats and they will not open the Strait of Hormuz. And now today Iran has also again said that the Strait of Hormuz is between, the matter of the Strait of Hormuz will be in between Oman and Iran to decide, and they will decide it after the war, and during the war they are not opening the Strait of Hormuz. This is the statement from the foreign minister of Iran. The foreign minister of Iran has clearly stated that they are not opening the Strait of Hormuz now, and they would think of opening the Strait of Hormuz after the war ends. So do take part in the poll, and the question is that will Iran open the Strait of Hormuz by the end of 6th April? Because US has already threatened that if this doesn't happen, then US will be bombing the major power plants and oil storage and energy storage facilities of Iran. With that, let's discuss some important news and analysis. The latest news of last 48 hours. We'll discuss the latest news of the last 48 hours with you. Starting with the IRGC's April 1st ultimatum, the most important April 1st ultimatum which IRGC has given, which will escalate the war to a whole new level. And the ultimatum by IRGC is that the IRGC has declared that 18 US tech giants, including Google, Apple, Microsoft, Boeing, Tesla, Intel, etc., are legitimate military targets by Iran, and Iran would be targeting these from now onwards. So this is a major breaking news now, and a major escalation if that does happen. That IRGC has declared that 18 of the US tech giants, including Google, Apple, Microsoft, Boeing, Tesla, and Intel, would be targeted by Iran. So this is the major update now today, and let's move towards news is that Tehran accuses these companies of providing AI and satellite-based targeting data to the US and Israel. They have warned employees in regional offices Dubai, Doha, Riyadh to evacuate immediately. So this was the detail that accused these companies of providing AI and satellite-based targeting data to the US and Israel, and they have warned employees in regional offices, including Dubai, Doha, and Riyadh, to evacuate immediately from there. So this was the news, major breaking news now. Basically, this move shifts the war from a state versus state war to a state versus private sector war. And the purpose here, the purpose which Iran is trying to achieve is to scare foreign investment out of the Middle East forever. This is basically the goal behind what Iran wants to achieve, is that to scare the foreign investment out of the Middle East forever. Then do please tell that, would this be a precursor to a massive regional cyber attack on the power grids and financial system that these companies support? Because the next stage would be the cyber attack, and these moves are like the precursors to massive regional cyber attacks that would happen on power grids and financial systems next. So this was the first news and analysis on that news. Now let's move towards another news, and that is the latest from today, and that the Isfahan strikes, the US, and these are the visuals which we are showing you of the Isfahan strikes, that the US used 2,000-pound bunker buster bomb yesterday to destroy a major underground ammunition depot. The US uses 2,000-pound bunker buster bomb yesterday to destroy a major underground ammunition depot. Secondary explosions were reported for hours after the major explosion. And this was the visual when the US dropped 2,000-pound bunker buster bombs yesterday to destroy a major underground ammunition depot in Tehran, in Isfahan basically. And the 82nd Airborne Elite US paratroopers have begun arriving in the region as well. 82nd Airborne paratroopers, elite US paratroopers, have begun arriving in the region as well. Also, there is a debate about the ground war and invasion of Iran by US, to which the Speaker of Iranian Parliament, Ghalibaf, claims that US is secretly plotting a land invasion while publicly talking about peace. Iranian Speaker of the Parliament, Ghalibaf, accuses US of secretly planning a land invasion while publicly talking about the peace. President Trump stated that he could take the oil and seize Kharg Island very easily if a deal isn't reached by 6th April deadline. So this is another news that after the U.S. Elite paratroopers of 82nd Airborne arriving in the region, Tehran accuses U.S. of secretly plotting to invade Iran while publicly talking about peace. And U.S. President Trump has also said that it is very easy for him to seize Iranian oil and to seize Kharg Island of Iran if the deadline of April 6 isn't reached. And the 6th April deadline is basically by 6th April, US said that Iran should open the Strait of Hormuz. Otherwise, Iran will be bombed heavily, and the Kharg Island will be seized, and the oil will be taken. And so please do take part in that poll as well, which we have created, that whether the Strait of Hormuz will be opened by Iran by 6th or Iran would refuse to open the Strait of Hormuz. Already we have told you that the foreign minister have already said that we are not opening the Strait of Hormuz, and it's between when the war is going on, and after the war the matter would be between Oman and Iran. They would decide the future of the Strait of Hormuz. Is the arrival of 82nd Airborne a real invasion force or a pressure tactic to force Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz? Another question which we have for you is now that please do logically and with reason answer this, that is the arrival of 82nd Airborne to Middle East against Iran a real invasion force or a pressure tactic to force Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz? Moving towards some more news, that we have seen some alliances, NATO alliances being broken today, some important NATO alliances being broken today. And before that, let me see your comments. We have seen some broken alliances from today, and the alliances broken alliances for today, and let me give you the details about that broken alliances. Poland and Spain Poland refused, officially rejected the US request to move its Patriot batteries to the Middle East, citing the need to protect the eastern flank against Russia. So Poland, US had requested Poland to provide the Patriot batteries for the Middle East, but Poland flatly refused to provide its Patriot batteries to the US for the Middle East. Trump confirmed that France and Spain are denying US military planes use of their airspace against Iran. The NATO is in crisis. The US is facing logistical nightmare. If European allies won't allow overflights, the cost of the war, the fuel and the time doubles. And if Poland doesn't send the Patriot batteries, it proves that the West's interceptor stockpile is dangerously low. So we have seen the broken alliances of NATO now. That Poland has initially refused, that Poland isn't providing Patriot batteries to US and to be deployed in the Middle East. Poland flatly refused this request of President Trump. France and Spain are denying US military planes to use their airspace and also the NATO is in crisis, and if European allies won't allow overflights, the cost of war will double, and the cost of war will double in terms of fuel and time. And the Poland not sending its batteries upon US's request proves that the West interceptor missiles stockpile missile is very low. So this was the alliances which we have seen. Also, there is the economic side of this war as well. Oil has this hit to the price of 120 per barrel. $120 per barrel has the price, but the price of the oil has reached to $120 per barrel. Also, food crisis. GCC countries UAE, Qatar, and Kuwait are facing a grocery supply emergency. 70% of the food imports are disrupted. He will. Sorry for the technical glitch which occurred, due to which the live streaming went off air for some time. And now we are back with the live streaming and our analysis. We are analyzing the social media footages and reports which can be unverified at times. And we analyze these visuals and footages which are unverified at times purely from documentary and educational point of view, strongly following the YouTube community guidelines. Sorry for the disruption in the live streaming. With the live streaming, there was a technical error and glitch. The internet speed went down, and because of which the live streaming went off air. Sorry for that. Due to the technical error, the live streaming went off air, and we had to stop that live streaming, and now we are live again. Sorry for that technical error, and we are back again. We are showing you the unverified visuals and footages from social media, and we are analyzing these unverified reports purely from documentary point of view and educational point of view, strongly following the YouTube community guidelines. Thank you for being back, and it was a technical error. So I was reading your comments, and now Trump has. So I was sharing you the news that this war has a technical impact as well, and the technical impact includes. The economical impact. The economical impact of this war includes. I was telling you that, and the oil has passed $120 per barrel. Oil has passed $120 per barrel. And also, GCC countries are facing grocery supply emergency. 70% of the food imports are disrupted. Retailers are airlifting staples, causing prices to jump from 40 to 120%. Qatar Energy has officially suspended all LNG exports. And this war is kind of a global tax on every human being through energy and food prices. This war is kind of a global tax on every human being through energy and food prices. Every human being is suffering, so it is kind of a global tax. Now we are discussing another perspective, that is the peace proposals which are going on. Pakistan and China have laid out and drafted 5-point plan. Yesterday, Islamabad and Beijing put forward 5-point peace plan, including safe passage guarantee for ships in the Strait. Iran's foreign minister IRGC says that they are receiving direct messages from the US via Steve Witkoff, but denies they are negotiating. So Iranian Foreign Minister has said that they are receiving direct messages from the US via Steve Witkoff, but he denies that they are negotiating directly with with the US. Already President Trump has laid down the deadline, the 6th April deadline. This is the most important date to watch. If no deal is reached by next Monday, the US has threatened to destroy Iran's energy sites. The US has decided to destroy energy sites of if by 6th April no conclusion reached, no ceasefire agreement is reached between US and Iran, then US has said that they would be directly attacking the oil and energy infrastructure of Iran directly after the 6th of April. Do please subscribe the channel, and do please also like the video as well, and share your thoughts on this video. We are sharing some important news and analysis with you. We are sharing you the news from six major NATO countries have refused to support US despite US asking the support for this war. 6 major NATO countries have refused to support US in this war, and the details are that starting from Poland has refused to support provide Patriot batteries. Poland has refused to provide Patriot batteries to US in the Middle East, and they have clearly refused the request of the US to provide Patriot batteries to US. UK, despite President Trump has officially publicly criticized the UK that they haven't supported the US in opening the Strait of Hormuz, the UK has not given its air carrier group, and also the Royal Navy has also not been given. France has denied the airspace to US. Also, Italy has denied landing rights to US planes. Italy has also denied landing rights to US bombers, and Turkey has also denied the bases to be used by US. So these are 6 major countries which have refused to support US in this war. US was repeatedly asking for help for the opening of the Strait of Hormuz. US was repeatedly asking for the help for the Strait of Hormuz, but that help, these 6 major NATO countries have denied US any help. So this is the major news from now. And also we have a big breaking news now. We have a big breaking news now, and the big breaking news is that Iran has said that Iran would be now targeting the tech companies, tech giants of US. Iran has listed 18 tech giants which Iran would be targeting. Iran has listed 18 tech giants which Iran would be targeting of US. That includes Google, Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, Intel, Boeing, and others among these. These tech giants, Iran has said, these would be targeted from now on. Tehran says that these companies are providing AI satellite-based targeting data to US and Israel. They have warned employees in regional offices of Dubai, Doha, Riyadh to evacuate immediately. So this is one of the biggest news that Iran has said that they will now be targeting 18 tech giants of US, including Google, Apple, Tesla, Intel, Boeing, and Microsoft. If that attack happens, that would escalate this war to a whole new level. This moves the war from state versus state to state versus private sector. And the purpose, what Iranians are trying to achieve is that they want to scare foreign investment out of the Middle East forever. And after this, this could be a precursor to massive regional cyber attacks on the power grids and financial systems as well. So we would be seeing, we would likely be seeing the war would be escalating if these attacks happen, and then we would likely be seeing massive regional cyber attacks on power grids as well as financial systems. So this was the major news now. Another news is that yesterday, Isfahan strike, the US used 2,000-pound bunker buster bombs yesterday to destroy major underground ammunition depot. So 2,000-pound bunker buster bombs were used to destroy a major underground ammunition depot in Isfahan. Also, the US elite paratroopers, 82nd Born 8th Division, 82nd Airborne Division, have begun arriving in the region. Speaker of Iranian Parliament claims that US is secretly plotting a land invasion while publicly talking about peace and negotiations. President Trump stated that he could take oil and seize Kurg Island of Iran very easily if a deal isn't reached by this April. Is the arrival of 82nd Airborne a real invasion force or a pressure tactic to force Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz? President Trump has already been saying that he could take and seize Kurg Island very easily if deal isn't reached by this April. President Trump is saying that if deal isn't reached by this April, then the Kurg Island would be taken by US very quickly and very easily. And I have the poll as well, in which I have said that will Iran open basically the Strait of Hormuz before 6th of April or not? Do take part in that poll and do provide us your valuable thoughts as well. Let me read some of your comments now, and I'll be answering your comments as well. Some of the comments which I am receiving, I am going to read if I have any of the question there. I'm reading your comments. There is a new oil-free trade zone. The people of anyone who wants to transfer money or invest in my country, please contact me and I will facilitate all the procedures. No. This was a comment I was reading. Strait of Iranian live fighting for world peace. What's wrong? It's always open. Please do comment, and we have 103 votes up till now. Will Strait of Hormuz be opened by Iran by 6th of April? The answer, we have received 104 votes. 40% of the people say that yes, it will be opened by Iran by 6th of the April. 60% of the people says no, Iran will not open the Strait of Hormuz. And my analysis is that Iran will not open the Strait of Hormuz by 6th of the April, as already stated by its foreign minister IRGC. He says that we will not open the Strait of Hormuz as long as this war is going on. And after the war, it's between us and Oman to decide whether we'll open the Strait of, what we'll do about the Strait of Hormuz. So this was the comment by IRGC, the foreign minister of Iran. There was a question, are you Iran? No, I'm not in Iran. I'm not from Iran. Let's discuss. I have read your comments, and now moving towards some news, more news. Let's discuss some more news now. And the news which are coming are that there we have seen some economic news is that oil has already passed $120 barrel, and the GCC countries UAE, Qatar, and Kuwait are facing the grocery supply emergency. 70% of the food imports are disrupted. Retailers are airlifting staples, causing prices to jump from 40% to 120%. And also, Qatar Energy has officially suspended all LNG exports. These are the news and economic impacts related news. Everybody in the world is suffering one way or the another. This war has affected everyone, and it is kind of a global tax on every human being through energy and food prices. China and Pakistan have a 5-point plan, and yesterday when Islamabad and Beijing put forward a 5-point plan, including a safe passage guarantee for ships from the Strait of Hormuz. Foreign Minister Araghchi says they are receiving direct messages from the US via Steve Witkoff, but denies they are negotiating with the US. If by Monday the deal isn't reached, the US has already threatened to destroy energy sites entirely of Iran. And so these were the news, and also there was a big news that Kuwait's oil tanker was struck by Iran and it was damaged. Kuwait's oil tanker was struck by Iran and it was damaged. This was another news that Kuwait's oil tanker was struck by Iran and it got damaged. Now coming back to some of more news, and they are like, we have some more news and we are going to discuss those news with you. And let's discuss some of the major updates which happened in the last 48 hours. Traffic remains at a standstill in the Strait of Hormuz, and typically 153 daily transits are seen when there was no war from the Strait of Hormuz, but now only 13. So there's a huge difference, which is that yes, the Strait of Hormuz is closed effectively by Iran. 153 ships and vessels used to transit daily from the Strait of Hormuz, but now only 13 ships are being allowed to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Even 55 Chinese flagged ships are also trapped in the Strait of Hormuz. And CENTCOM confirmed that the sinking of Iris Fateh, Iran's only operational Fateh class submarine. A submarine has been confirmed. Iris Fateh submarine has been confirmed by CENTCOM that it has been downed and sunk. Basically, the sunk will be the right word. Submarine has been sunk by US, and CENTCOM has confirmed it that Iris Fateh, Iran's only operational Fateh class submarine, has been sunk in this war by US. IDF said this was the claim that was made by IDF that it has now destroyed more than 80% of Iran's air defense system. This was the claim by IDF that they have stuck 80% of the air defense system has already been destroyed since the day one of the war. This was the claim made by IDF. NATO and regional air defenses, including Saudi Arabia and Turkish systems, intercepted several Iranian ballistic missiles over the last 24 hours that entered Turkish and Saudi airspace. These were some of the news which we mentioned to you that were the latest news from today. The most important being that, number one, Trump threatened that if Strait of Hormuz isn't opened by 6th of April, Trump would take Kharg Island and would bomb energy and oil facilities. And then another latest news was, and big news was that Iran said that it would attack now the US major tech companies, including Apple, Google, Tesla, Microsoft, Boeing, Intel, because they are providing AI assistance to AI assistance to the US and Israeli military, and using that Israeli and US military targeting Iranian infrastructures. They are basically giving data. Now also let's have some let's discuss whether the US can US invade Iran, because President Trump had already said if Strait of Hormuz isn't opened by 6th of April, then they would be invading. Basically, US had said that they would be invading Iran. And so with that, we have questions. So that is Iran's ground invasion possible or not possible? Is ground invasion of Iran possible or not? We discussed that in detail. Before moving to that, let me read your comments. The comments. The comments are no. If USA are flying low, 97 became 80. Yes, there was yesterday. You pointed it out that yesterday there was news that claimed that the USA and Israel have destroyed 90% of the missile launch sites, and now they are saying that 80% of the launching sites have destroyed. So kind of issues with facts. And how low are IDF that they should tell truth on defense? IDF claims take with the pinch of salt. I hate that we just have one-way news. I mean, what is Iran response so far? I already told you that the Iranian response is kind of that they have said that they are now going to that now they are going to attack the tech giants, which include Apple, Google, and these companies will now be targeted by Iran. They have already said that. State of America, so it was never closed. I'm reading your comments. Come on, Iran. This is come on, Iran. And Pakistan is with you. This was another comment. The stockpile of Iran is depleted. I read your comments and I tried to answer your comments as well. And let's move towards some more news. And I was talking about whether the ground invasion is possible or not. To my opinion, ground invasion, full-scale ground invasion, the Iraq or Afghanistan style isn't possible because that would require approximately 500,000 US troops there, and with the terrain that is difficult and not that flat terrain of Iraq, it's a difficult terrain, mountainous regions. So, and also IRGCs are 1 million strong, and they have multiple. They have mastered the guerrilla tactics, so it would be a difficult task for US, and they would be facing heavy losses if they try to invade on a large scale basis. And I do think that US will be invading, if at any stage they will be invading on a very small scale, typically limited to certain coastal areas and some islands. They would be invading some islands of Iran and their coastal areas, not a full-scale invasion, and that too for some days, just for using it as a bargaining chip to open the Strait of Hormuz. This would be the most likely scenario, and that too looks difficult because of already have told you that most of the NATO countries have refused to help US in opening the Strait of Hormuz. So that too looks difficult, and even President Trump has criticized those countries who are not helping US in opening the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump has had a message on the Truth Social app in which he said that US has destroyed Iranian Navy and Air Force and destroyed its missile launching abilities. So now these countries should come forward and get their own oil transported through the Strait of Hormuz, and the US will not now be supporting them as they did not support the US. So with that statement, it looks like the future of NATO is very uncertain. Also, 6 countries I've already mentioned that haven't supported, 6 major countries including France, Italy, Spain, Poland, Turkey have refused to support US in opening the Strait of Hormuz. Some of the countries haven't given their Patriot batteries to US. Others refused to allow US to use their airspace and bases and refused to allow landing rights. So the future of NATO is very uncertain. So this was the basically news from today. And with that, it's time to wrap up this transmission. And we'll be live once we have more news. Again, before leaving, let me request you, please do like the video and subscribe the channel as well. Like the video and subscribe the channel as well. And also do share this video. Prayers from my side. Prayers from my side. And take care of yourselves. I'm reading your comments, and okay, now it's time for us to leave. And prayers from my side. Do support us by subscribing and liking the video and subscribing the channel.